Hard to believe it is that time of the year, but it is coming up once again. We are getting closer day by day to the 13th annual Hope Fest Arizona, taking place Saturday, September 20th, downtown Prescott around the Courthouse Square. And once again, hanging out with me in the studio is my great friend. I don't even say good anymore.
I know.
You're a great friend, Jaye Long, and I appreciate you coming in and once again sharing the heart of Hope Fest.
This is so great. I know that I ran into Matt and Christina Clark recently.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those
Yes.
those beginning days?
Yes.
You were there when this
Yes.
first was birthed, and we all collected with Teen Challenge and Adrian Green, and I can't remember who else was in that studio. We just gathered around the mics and had the most amazing conversations.
I tell you, one of the things that I think has been most exciting for me is to see year after year how this has grown.
Yeah.
You know, every year Hope Fest Arizona grows, and it's not something that you even go out searching for. It's just God doing it. This is a God thing that takes place every year, and he uses you and the incredible people you surround yourself with to make this possible. And I know this year is no different. You know, you have your challenges, you have, things that you deal with, but every time, God comes along, takes care of it, and says,
It's confirming sweet grace.
Yes.
It just is so amazing to be in the middle of it. We talk, and we've gone to Bible studies and things like that about how you're in God's will. And it's like, there's no denying when you are, and you know it. And you just keep looking to him. And I say it countless times, whether I'm doing graphics, whether I'm doing writing, whatever is needed for this big, huge event. I'm constantly, and it was a learned behavior in the beginning. Now it's a spiritual habit, which is, God, I need you now. I need your answers. I need to know how. My mind is all over the place. You need to defrag me. I need to concentrate, and I need exactly what you want to say, or make this simple. Help me peel it back and help me do this. No, it's constant.
And he does every single year. September 20th, that's the date for the 13th Annual Hope Fest Arizona.
It sure is.
For those who have come before and those who are coming for the very first time, who are going, what's Hope Fest Arizona? Share a little bit about it and what they can expect at this year's event.
Well, it's earned the name Northern Arizona's premier community gathering, because that is exactly what it is. Everybody from our community is invited, welcomed. Now we do have the resource fair, and we meet challenges. We also meet a lot of needs that maybe people didn't know there was solutions for. Yeah. And I mean, whether it be they're senior adults, or maybe adoption and foster care, maybe it's autism, but it's all on the fun of the Courthouse Plaza. It's a beautiful day, and we have the huge family fun zone in the back, and families are playing long games and sack races and big Jenga and crafts and face painting and just all sorts of stuff on the backside. And then we've got, the music and speakers on the main stage on the Gurley Street side. So find a parking space, look for people running around that help you get shuttled over to the square. It's worth it. It's worth it, and it's for our community. I mean, we do have a few people from out of town come up, but this is really a Prescott thing.
Yeah, and I love about, you talk about the resource fair. That kicks things off, and it's a great opportunity. Hope Serves Family Resource Fair, which brings all these great organizations together, these different ministries that can help out those in need, whether they just need something like a haircut that day or a bicycle repaired, versus somebody who may need long-term services. They can come there. It's like a one-stop shop.
Yes.
To be able to have all these different organizations and ministries that you can talk to.
That's right. And we break up the plaza into different segments. One's first responders and the military family services. There's family support. There's wellness. And, then there's the car show and all that's going on. We have and speaking about some of those services, I have a list here, and we've been putting it on our social media. So if you're not familiar with Hope Fest, go to Hope Fest Arizona or Hope Fest AZ on Facebook, and we've been putting out there periodically a so far list.
I love that.
Not the so far horn, but a so far list of vendors.
Here's who we have coming up so far.
Who's coming in so far. Yeah. And it is just amazing. Everything from Adventure Medics from Flagstaff, Agape House, of course, and Be Connected, Bikers Against Child Abuse are back. They were the Foster and Hope Award winner last year.
I had a chance to chat with them last year.
Yes. Child Support Services, Christian Business Fellowship. There's the Desmond Doss Foundation, Donate for Life. Donate Life Arizona is coming back up. They hadn't been with us for a long time. This is the year they're coming back. Grace Direct Primary Care, which is an amazing medical office here. Grand Canyon University will be here. Yavapai College will be here. Soldier's Best Friend. I mean, just on and on. Make sure and look at this list because it has continued to grow every single day. And I think I have who I still need to add, which New Horizons Disability Empowerment Center, Yavapai Food Bank, Village of Hope, and the Duran Studio that's over there on Gurley.
And we want to make sure.
Gideon's has been with us every single year.
Wow, that's amazing. And we want to make sure when she talks about social media and everything, one thing I want to make sure that we're giving you a lot is the website, hopefestaz.com, because you go to that website, there's going to be links to the social media.
Exactly, right at the top.
So you don't have to memorize a whole lot of stuff that we're talking about. We're going to share information with you, but all this information that we're sharing, you can find at hopefestaz.com. Make sure you go there and check everything out. We've talked about the fact that we have the Hope Serves resource fair, which has so many vendors and different organizations that have the heart to help people. As we get ready for Hope Fest, let's talk about some of the needs that you have right now. So anybody listening who might have an organization or a service or something or just the time. Right. Time is so valuable, and for someone to donate that, what are some of the needs right now for Hope Fest?
Yes, and we don't take it lightly when people are donating, especially their time, and we just so appreciate that. Needs that we have, you can bring food donations. Yavapai Food Bank is going to be there, so that's a great way to do that. We're also looking for collections of specifically these sleeping bags, tarps, batteries. Yavapai Food Bank's bringing blankets, so we don't need blankets. Okay. And I don't say coats and jackets, maybe gloves and socks. Yeah. Socks are a biggie. The reason why I don't say jackets is because all of the other organizations around town are doing that, and they collect and they get more than they need. And I want to see the donations go to the areas that we're being told through surveys that these items are missing, which are the tarps, the tents, sleeping bags, and batteries, socks, and gloves.
And these are items that can be dropped off the day of the event. So this is for September 20th. These items that Jaylene's talking about, the day that you show up, there'll be places that you can drop off the batteries and the sleeping bags and the tents and the tarps. So make sure that you bring those items. And I know also you'll probably be able to find lists, as you go and check out Hope Fest AZ. I know normally on some of the social media, you'll update, hey, here's some of the needs we have. So make sure you're checking it often and making sure you're clicking on the social media links so that if anything changes or an additional need comes up, you can stay in touch with what those needs are. Now, even beforehand, are you looking for people like more volunteers, things like that, donations? What is it that your need is at this very moment?
Well, if you're an organization, you're just hearing about this, give us a call. We will do everything we can to get everybody in that wants to participate. So even though it says August 15th expired, give us a call. Give us contact us through our website. We will contact you and we'll do everything we can. It's just a matter of timing. Please don't wait till the week of Hope Fest to do that. This is as soon as possible.
Yeah, you definitely want to get, if you're a vendor especially. What about an individual who's just looking to volunteer?
Definitely can plug you in, and you need to be signed up for volunteering before the event. Why? Because there's a lot of communication and planning that goes on before the event to get you signed up with the correct team. And we've got about 10 different teams, whether it be the production team, the vendor load-in team, the cleanup team, the welcome team. Yeah.
There's lots of needs. There's lots of needs for volunteer.
All sorts of stuff. And if you've got if you've got skills like photography and video, we want to know that too.
Yeah, so that God can use you in so many ways to help out and be a blessing to Hope Fest Arizona. So always make sure, like I said, you go to the website. There's going to be a lot of information there that you can use to reach out and sign up to be a volunteer. And also, if you're a vendor, to get in time. But as Jaylene said, do not wait too late. And, I'm sure if there was a group that reached out and you're like, wait a minute, we don't have anybody like this. that makes it even more special. So if you have a group and you go and you look through this list and go, well, hey, they don't have anybody that provides the service we can, at least reach out and touch base, because you never know what can happen.
Or it can be that group. And I need to shine a light on Casa for Kids just for a second. Okay, their mission is to help these kids that are taken out of their homes without notice. We can all imagine, what would cause the law to go in and remove kids on an emergency basis. So they fill all the needs of those kids, whether it be clothing, food, all the essentials. Okay, that's their mission. Now, this year, I got from Casa for Kids, we're going to need 3 vendor booths. We're going to need one to show who we are and express that. The other one is to play games. And the third one is we've decided we want to do haircuts for kids. And what that says is just, first of all, that's the sweetness of God's grace dropping. Here's another thing for your event I want to do. Because what that group did, and this is why it's so important to groups out there thinking, well, we don't have anything or what. No, brainstorm. Ask God to give you something. It doesn't have to be within your mission, because Haircuts for Kids is not in the mission for Casa for Kids. Their group got together and they brainstormed and they came up with something totally fun, totally giving back that was outside. So that's also what we're asking to tap into. Tap into what you don't already know and ask for God to give you a brain moment of, wow.
Amen. I love that. And you never know what new organizations could pop up because of a situation like that. Some goes, wow, we got together to do this just to help out, but it turned into something more long term. Yeah. God works in incredible ways.
He's speaking to our hearts in all different ways at the same time. Isn't that crazy?
And throughout the day, you're going to want to be there, not just, for the Hope Serves Resource Fair, but even after that, because great military tributes and honoring our veterans, honoring those who have sacrificed all, and our first responders, our firefighters, our law enforcement. Every year you guys do an incredible job of honoring them throughout the day.
This year we have a special ceremony we're doing, and it is during the opening ceremony.
So
and you remember how we launched the tribute of the memorial flags to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we're going to bring Kimberly Lopez, Sergeant Lopez's wife, up, and we're going to bring Sergeant Robles. And I might have said it wrong, and I'm so sorry. I know that he was a Ranger, and he had like 10 deployments, and he lost his life because of the effects of PTSD and those things. His family's going to come up and receive the honor member flag ceremony, and Kimberly's going to come up and receive the first responder honor and sacrifice ceremony.
Yeah, and if you've never been there at that time of the day, that's usually around noon.
11:30.
11:30. Okay, 11:30. And again, we talk about this, but make sure you go to hopefestaz.com, because that's where you'll find out current information and if time schedules, all that. Great. Everything that we talk about, you'll be able to find there as well. So keep that very close to you, hopefestaz.com. Now, music. That's a big part of every year. You guys never cease to amaze with not just a headliner, but the other artists that perform throughout the day. A lot of great talent. And I know a lot of groups always go, hey, we want to be a part of this. And this year, I know
this year is no different in that we have an amazing lineup. Let me first explain that the event hours are from 10 to 10, and the car and motorcycle show are 10 a.m. to 2.
Okay.
The Hope Serves Family Resource Fair goes from 10 to 4. The opening ceremony is at 11:30. Jamie Smith comes on at 12:30, and anybody that knows me and has been a part of Celebrate Recovery during the years my husband and I were ministry leaders knows Jamie Smith songs, because we played a ton of them. And
I remember that.
she has been a worship leader out in Oklahoma for 30 years, but she tours. Yeah. And she happened to be on the same label as our headliner, and they're friends and they know each other, and I'll tell you who that is in just a minute. Okay, and then we have Abby Walker back, came from Alex Cooper, Proofs in the Pudding contest.
Yes, Proofs in the Pudding.
And she has grown her music and she's got quite a testimony. She and I have things in common, which were brain injury, and coming through that, and how that was part of her testimony, which is pretty amazing. amazing. Then we have Anthony Santana. He's now here from New Jersey, pastoring down on the streets around the Courthouse Plaza on Whiskey Row. And that's a hard calling, and he's doing an amazing job. And then we have Ronnie James Band.
Oh, yeah.
And
last year they did a great job.
He did, too. Then we got the Fostering Hope Award at 6:30. Then, you want to give me a drum roll, please? Yeah, we are bringing none other than Lincoln Brewster to headline.
Man, I am super excited about this. Lincoln, man. I mean, I'm telling you, that's quite a headliner this year.
Oh, man.
You know, and if you're a musician, I know everybody who's a musician, a guitar player will definitely be there. Because the guy is incredible. Yeah, having Lincoln there, man, I mean, wow. That's going to be phenomenal.
Booking the artists is part of my job, so it's a fun part. Because I get to talk to the band members. I get to talk to Lincoln's mom. And we had a 2-hour conversation, and she told me all about him. And
you can tell off on Lincoln right now.
And it was amazing. She was a musician herself, and that's where he got inspired. He picked up the drumsticks at the age of 5.
Yeah.
Mandolin at the age of 7, and he was signed with Steve Perry at 19.
Yeah. I remember when he was going out and playing guitar for the former lead singer of Journey.
Yeah.
That's quite a gig right there, And then I love that God got a hold of his heart and said, you've got talent, now you can use it to glorify me.
Because you're going to have to make a choice.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I mean, we know a lot of Christian people that are in secular music.
Yeah.
But and they can do that. But for some people, God says, I want it all. I want it all over here.
Yeah.
And so that's what he listened.
That's going to be very, very cool to have him headlining.
Some of the amazing songs that he's done and filled concert festivals worldwide. There is Power, Made New, Today is the Day, Let the Praises Ring, No One Like Our God, are all of amazing songs, and he's had over 10 albums. It's just a theme that echoes throughout Lincoln's life, that he can't do it without God. From a childhood overshadowed by abuse to a life filled with forgiveness and ministry that has inspired believers around the globe. I've been spending time. I'm working all the time by myself in my home. I've got a business. I've got a Hope Fest. I've got plenty to do. But I keep worship music on all the time, and I have saturated in Lincoln Brewster songs, all of his albums, for the last couple of months.
I'll tell you, it's he can play his whole set could be nothing but hits.
Yeah.
That's Lincoln right there, I know, personally, I'm super excited. I'm so glad that you have him.
And they're going to be playing 90 minutes. So you're gonna get a big
full
dose.
Yeah, that's the average length of a headliner concert right there. At venues. So to be able to provide that 90 minutes for him downtown, you're going to want to make sure you are there. And again, hopefestaz.com. Can't say it enough because everything we talk about, you can get information there. Whether you're a volunteer and you're wanting to sign up and donate your time that day, maybe you're just wanting to see the events that are going on, look at the timeline, maybe see some of the vendors that are going to be there at the Hope Resource Fair. This is all information that you can find at hopefestaz.com, and there are links there to their social media, Facebook, etc. So you can go there and see that as well. One of the things we were talking about earlier, and I want to make sure you get a chance to share about it, is Dare to Lead.
Yes.
You're talking about something that how that's affected you this year, and talk a little bit about that. Share your heart.
Well, that's interesting. As many of you know, I'm a mother of a military mom.
Yeah.
And I had 3 boys that signed up, and most of you know that I lost to Travis and Brandon some years ago. It's only a few days away from Brandon, the 26th of August, so that we go through this again. It's a constant every day, but I'm sorry, I mean about being marked on the calendar. Yeah. It's every 6 months. Yeah. And I'm in a class through TAPS, who wraps around families of the fallen. And they have a class in there called Dare to Lead. And I tell you, I'm just one of those personalities that, dare me, challenge me, all that kind of thing. And we really think about it in our walk. And that, like Matthew West talks about in his song, Do Something, why you, why here, why now? So I shook my fist at heaven and said, God, why don't you do something? He said, I did. I created you.
Amen.
And when we were first approached about this, it was a dare. It was a challenge because we could have said no.
Yeah.
It was when Justin came with a challenge to take Celebrate Recovery down to the streets, to meet the community, to let people know that they're loved and we're here to support them and show the love of Christ with no expectation and no agenda. Well, whether it be recovery or Hope Fest today, that foundation is still there. We still want to know people, let people know they're not alone.
That's right.
That we love them, and we're going to be there for them, and we're going to help them through, whether it be recovery or getting connected for a job. Other resources that are going to be there. Those are the connections. So it's not just a recovery, and even though recovery is the foundation, it has become so much more because of the amazing organizations that have come on board to spell a healthy community, both faith and business and state and government and all that kind of thing. And so we just it's unite as a community for an exceptional day of fun and service. It's a perfect chance to connect and give back and make a positive difference. Well, that first year, we were knocking down so many doors. And there's a thing about daring and about history. When somebody has a new idea, there's many people that rise up and go, well, why would you want to do that? Or I don't think that's a great idea.
Yeah, the first one through the door, man.
And the first impressions are, why you? And even back then, I had several people saying, why you? And I said, I don't know. I just know if this is God's will, I want to be in God's will.
Yes. Why you? Because you said yes when other people would say, no, that's too much. And you never wavered. You and David were like, yes, Lord, if you're calling us to do this, we don't know how, what we're going to do, but you've called us.
Yeah. And then as people get used to whatever it is that new thing developing into, well, why didn't you do it years before? And then you keep on doing it to the point where we're at, in the teens area. Well, we need to make sure this stays. Yeah. So it's amazing how people change throughout the growth of a new idea.
Yeah, and I think that's what you've also allowed Hope Fest Arizona to do, is to grow. You haven't ever said, this is the way it's going to be every year, year after year after year. You've allowed God to come into it and change it the way he needs it changed. You've been faithful to that. It hasn't always been easy. Sometimes you question it, or you go,
sometimes
Lord,
we get rained out.
Yeah, you just never know what happens. But even times when it's gotten rained out, there's always been someone who's been blessed.
Yes.
There's always been,
absolutely.
So every year that the Hope Fest has made an impact, no matter what, because God's in it.
And I love hearing the noise around town. Yeah. Hope Fest this or Hope Fest. I'll be in a store and nobody knows who I am because I'm pretty incognito. I try not to put my face out there much. Yeah. And I'll be hearing stories. Oh, are you going to go to Hope Fest? Look at my Hope Fest t-shirt. It's like, I
see those shirts throughout the year, which is what I really love because that's a reminder to everybody else. They're pretty much walking billboards, sharing that Hope Fest is coming, whether it's from the previous year, or somebody walking around this year with it on and somebody.
Yeah.
It's amazing the people that.
I've made it pretty clear to our team that the only thing that's the same every year has been the location, and we still have to pray that that's so because we've seen what happened when COVID came in, and we didn't get to have it at all. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. But the other confirming non-budging entity, of course, has been God.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else can whirl, swirl, and change and flux. But those are the two constants. And so we can't look on last year and go, well, last year this. No, we have to look at right
it's always
now.
Changed, it's always growing, and you allow it to happen, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
Because when things start stagnating, then that's it. They just kind of go away, and you never let it stagnate.
I was surprised that some of the organizations I had been knocking down doors for, years and years, those early ones trying to get to come on, they signed up. Prescott Meals on Wheels, Habitat for Humanity, they're with us this year. And I was like, yes. And then there was one group down in Tucson I have been wanting up here, and I couldn't get through. And I gave the assignment to one of our volunteers, Sandra, and she calls, I don't know what you're talking about, Jaye. They picked right up. I go, they've never picked up on me. She got through and she got to talk to somebody and we got connected. They're coming and the group is Veterans for Child Rescue. And these are the special op guys that go in and rescue those little kids out of those horrible situations. And the reason why I feel it is so important is because we have a huge veteran and first responder population here. We know that. But we also know there's a lot of guys looking to connect, looking to find something to do, looking to believe in that all that time they spent, they could put forward. I mean, that's a possibility about getting connected with them. The other thing is they have documentaries and they're very active, but they're located here in Arizona. It's an Arizona organization. We can be very proud of them and create a relationship with. So that was important. Another thing is, I'm a NASCAR fan, and so David and I would go to NASCAR down in Phoenix, and twice last year I saw Arizona Military Vehicle Collectors Club, and I just was like, oh gosh, we gotta have this Hope Fest. And it's nothing but a collection of wartime stuff and all the history and all the uniforms and all the stuff that goes with it. I don't know how many vehicles we have coming because they have everything from Jeeps to tanks to helicopters. So I don't know what they're bringing. So don't come looking for a helicopter on Goodwin Street. I don't know what they're bringing yet. As soon as I have a better idea, I'll let you know. But the fact that they're coming, it's their first time. See, I grew up, I was the little girl that ran around the neighborhood that invited everybody into my house. The Fuller Brush Man, the Avon lady, because we used to have dairy products delivered to our door. So I invited him to, everybody that went through the neighborhood that had something to sell, give, or whatever, ended up in my living room. And I would surprise my mother. Mother dear, we have company. So see what I'm saying? Fast forward to Hope Fest. Invite them to the party. They'll get it.
The house has gotten a lot bigger now, and everyone's invited on September 20th.
Invite them to the party. They'll come back.
Yeah. And this is a free community event. I don't think we've mentioned that yet. It is a free.
Donations are great.
Donations definitely accepted.
And it is free.
And you can donate at any time. You can go to hopefestaz.com to make donations, or you can donate the day of. But as far as tickets being involved, stuff like that, you just kind of come and go as you want throughout the day.
There's raffle tickets for raffle prizes. There's T-shirt sales. You can also, like you said, make a donation through there. It's just an amazing time, and it's the spirit, and that's what's so cool. Is I'll drive around on my little golf cart, just being the voyeur of Hope Fest, and just watch it come to life and watch what God had planned, and it's just an amazing journey.
I love it because everybody has the heart to be there, and as I've been a part of it every year. I've been a part of it, and I've seen the people who are there. Everybody wants to be there. Nobody's going around going, "Oh, I had to do this."
Yeah, I had to go to Hope Fest.
The heart of the people, the volunteers, those who are whether it's a sound crew, whether it's the security, whether it's people on prayer team, whether it's like you said, a cleanup crew, or the vendor, people checking in the vendors. Everybody that I've run into has a smile on their face. They're happy, and that's just what Hope Fest is about.
That's intentional management from the top down, and what we teach is it starts with us.
Yeah.
And we have to have clean hearts. So drop the rocks.
There you go.
Pick them up later if you want to. But we need to be the hands and feet and mercy and the presence of Christ in our smiles and how we talk to people and how we treat them, and even how we have the vendors come in and they drive down Union Street and they unload in the middle of the street with our vendor team, and there's carts, and our volunteers take those carts to their location while they go park. Nobody else does that in town, and we've created this super streamlined system because of the vendor team, Cassie and Chuck Merritt over there who run that. But also on our website, hopefestaz.com, please go under, it's the Hope Serves tab, and you can see our service providers, and you'll see who was there last year. And that's where people can, if they want to get connected after Hope Fest, and they go, oh, I have another question for that organization. You'll be able to go and find their logo and their website there. Same with our sponsors who make this happen. If it wasn't for them, this would not happen. We have our sponsor page, so you can go and take a look, and it's just all laid out, and it's a long page because we have a lot of thank yous.
Yeah, you have a lot of people that want to be a part of this, and it's also a great opportunity to go and say thank you to some of these businesses. If you happen to look through the list and you happen to be in that store, just tell them thank you for being a part of Hope Fest. Because I know that feedback that they get kind of reaffirms, wow.
Well, this year when Casa Auto Group, formerly Lamb, came back in, that was huge because that was our very first sponsor. Sure. That was the very first person that stepped their toe over the sand all those years ago, and it's continuing with the new dealership. And so that was great. And you have Piebald Gas and Advanced Coatings and MCK Woodworks and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona, and just on and on. That's another thing we just sit back and awe at. That's how God puts that all together, because He knows if we're not in the black by the day of the event, there's nothing else coming in. It comes out of our pocket.
And I know that there's been times where you've had to kind of say, hey, if we're going to keep doing this, we're going to put in what we have to put in on our own to make this continue to happen. Real quick, want to make sure, Classic Car Show.
Yes.
People who have cars that want to be a part of that, how do they get involved? Also through the website? There'll be a link
through the website on the homepage. You scroll down, it says many ways to get involved. There's a tab there for the car show. You can click through there. You can enter online, or you can print it out and send it in. But I tell you what, I better have it in my hand by the morning they're not in.
There you go. Deadlines for this. Make sure you go. There'll be deadlines on the websites and any other deadlines that are on there. Make sure you go to hopefestaz.com. Click through all the pages. Check out all the pages. Don't just go to the front page and go, okay, I've checked it out. Nah, you'll find a lot of great information in there. Jaye, this is a website that's been also developing for 13 years.
Oh, and the Fostering Hope Award.
Oh, yeah. We mentioned it's going to be at 6:30, but you can't say who it is, though.
No.
But
I can say who won it last year.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
And it was Bikers Against Child Abuse, and they were so surprised. They had no idea that they were winning. On our website, there's a little rotating thing that promotes every year's winner. So,
I love that. That's very cool.
And it's locally nominated, and we match a pretty bouquet from Allen's Flowers and a plaque and a $2,000 check.
13th Annual Hope Fest Arizona, Saturday, September 20th, downtown Prescott around Courthouse Square. You cannot miss it. I'll promise you that. When you come down to the square, you'll see everything going on, and you can get all the information again. hopefestaz.com, such an important website because everything we've talked about, plus things we haven't talked about, you're going to find on there. So make sure you go click on the different pages and check things out. Anything that we haven't hit upon that you want to make sure?
Just be in prayer for us.
Amen.
Pray for
Always.
the day.
Always.
Pray for the location. Pray for every one of those streets, every one of those people that's coming, whether they be a volunteer, whether they be a guest, whether they be a speaker. Pray for the children. Pray for our protection. Pray for the weather.
Amen. There's no lack of things to pray about. That's for sure. For Hope Fest.
Everybody sees God through us.
I love it. 13th Annual Hope Fest Arizona, Saturday, September 20th. Jaye, thanks so much for coming in, sharing how God has just grown this year after year, and can't wait to see what happens this year. HopeFestAZ.com. Check it out.